people like you come here and destroy this country. How the F can you sit and defend people of color and make us Swedes feel like we're bad people only because we're racists? What would happen if we all reached out to someone that we fear and actually got to know that person? How would that change our world? So I received this message on Facebook. I sometimes get messages like these from men who are angry. And my first impulse is that I really don't want to open it, because these messages are often including racism or sexism or threats. They are sent to frighten me, to silence me. And it's fascinating, all the feelings and thoughts that I get from only 2 sentences. Like, if I had defended people of color from racists, how does that destroy the country? Most people of color in Sweden are actually Swedish. Are racists feeling bad about being racist? And if so, is that a bad thing? I don't think a lot of people are racist to begin with. I think racism is something that we do, something that's learned, not something that we are. Very few people are full-time racists. My next impulse is that I want to write something nasty back, and I have a lot of ideas. But I'm over 40 years old. I'm born in the Middle East. I have children that look like me. I really don't have time for any more misunderstandings, any more hatred. So although full-time racists are rare, everyday racism is not. So this is something that I've been a subject to for all my life, even before I had a language. To be the scapegoat, to be excluded, discriminated, harassed. So the nationalist populism scares me way more than these messages. But what if we, the silent majority who believe in human rights, started to speak our minds? Not to seek conflict, just share our truth, share our stories. Maybe we could stop the polarization. Maybe we could start having meaningful conversations with each other and make some real change. So that thought made me start counter-speaking 3 years ago. I just started talking to people who were sharing hateful posts and disinformation on social media, and I just talked to them, asked a lot of questions, and tried to connect. And I realized many more need to do this on a regular basis. So I started a group on Facebook, and I called it iamhere, because I am here too. And I added 20 of my friends, and we were using the hashtag to find each other in the comment fields, because they were pretty hateful. And as the group grew, we developed methods and strategies to improve the work. People like you come here and destroy this country. I check out the profile, and it isn't fake. It's a young man, and he's almost half my age. And by the look of what he shares on his profile and how he interacts, I get a feeling that he might not have a job, and maybe not a whole lot of close friends. And he writes posts that are misspelled and grammatically incorrect, so that's the first thing that I would have attacked if I was about to write something nasty back to him. But the first rule that I made 3 years ago was to always make the best interpretations of what others say. So this is extra important if we talk to someone online where we don't see the facial expression or we don't hear the tone of voice. So a lot of information that we have in real-life conversations is gone. So always assume others mean well. But reading his message again, people like me who come here, I struggle. Is he implying that I have come to his country, that I have lived in 2 of his lifetimes? So I need to read the message again and again before I've calmed down and can read it as I have promised, with empathy and understanding. And when I finally read it like that, it becomes clear to me that he is not in power. I am. He's the one reaching out to me. He's the one who's been contacting me. I'm the older. I'm the one with a master's degree. I'm the one with the voice. To him, I'm the establishment. I'm the reason why he hasn't become his dreams. And yet I complain and try and make him change. To him, I'm the threat. So I follow my next rule, and I write an answer back using a low-impact approach. So instead of answering with aggression, I stay calm. Hey, thank you for getting in touch. I really hope I'm not destroying our country. I don't defend people of color as much as I defend equal rights for all people. Do you think Sweden would become a better country if we had more racism? Actually, it's the low-impact approach that got me thinking that the I Am Here initiative would never lead to any clashes, even though we are interacting with extremists and nationalists and trolls online, so maybe it was a little bit naive. But I remember just minutes before pressing the button of the first group in Sweden, I said to my husband, how can empathy and reason pose a threat to anyone? Well, 1 year after having started the first group, we had police protection on our house. And my father received a bullet in the mail for Father's Day. And anyone who collaborated with us or were supporting us were also being threatened. And every day for months, I read new lies about me that were spread all over social media, sometimes several times a day. And the threats with all the details of how and when I was going to get killed, they got to me. And every night I decided this couldn't go on. I need to stop. But in the morning, I started working anyways. Because what really terrifies me is that we live in a world where journalists and politicians and opinion formers get politically motivated threats for saying everyone should have equal rights. And that it works. Politicians quit their jobs, journalists dare not cover certain issues, and a lot of the people that were supporting us said they couldn't anymore. It wasn't worth taking that risk. So apparently, the low-impact approach is a threat to some people. It's a big threat to everyone who spreads fear and hate in the first place. To them, the silence of the majority is a must. But we can't stay quiet. We're 150,000 people now in the global I'm Here network. And in the first group that I started in Sweden, we're 75,000. And in Germany, we're 45,000. And I started in new groups with local representatives in 10 European countries. And we're starting here in Greece soon. I had replied to his message, and I received this answer back. You want to silence anyone who don't think like you, but we don't want Sharia laws on Islamism. To me, you represent evil. Okay, so maybe we're not hitting off as best friends immediately, but at least we're talking now. And all my impulses are back on combat mode again. It's really rude of him to accuse me of stuff instead of just asking. He obviously knows nothing about me. My work is not about changing everyone else's views. It's about standing up for my own. It's about empowering each other to stand up for our own beliefs. And we separate opinion from hate speech. So for instance, I don't think there should be any immigrants coming to this country. That's an opinion. But if you write, Muslims are cockroaches, we need to stomp, stomp, stomp on them until they're all dead, then that's hate speech. We need to start share our views, start share facts. Silence encourages the oppressor, never the victim. In the hateful common fields, we focus on stopping the hate, support the targeted, support each other, and stop polarization by talking to people who are stuck in other echo chambers than our own. And we're not trying to reach professional trolls this way. They are motivated by political or economical reasons. But we can reach others, because I have seen it several times. Again and again it happens. When people are starting commenting after we have interacted in the comment field, people who are not members of the group, they also use a different tone, different words, start using arguments instead of hate speech. And we members don't agree on anything other than to protect human rights. We come from all political backgrounds, and we believe it's possible to have a reflective political debate online. And we also use the groups to practice civil courage together, because when you practice civil courage online, you even also get more courageous in real life too. And after a couple of months of being in the group, members don't even need it anymore. And every once in a while, someone that we have supported thanks us for our work. Sorry for the Swedish here, but basically what they're saying is they were about to give up because they were receiving so many threats. But our support helped them keep going. Journalists, editors, politicians, activists, actors. So that's my answer back to him. I also try and find our common ground, and I empathize on what we are sharing. I'm not trying to silence anyone, on the contrary. I work to ensure that no one's silenced, to make people dare speak their mind. Sharia laws and Islamist extremism, all extremism, terrifies me too. I don't agree to us being divided, him and I. That's only what people who thrive from this polarization wants us to think. Dividing us into groups, pointing at the one group as a threat, and it might be mainstream journalists or homosexuals or Muslims, immigrants. What ideas about this young man do I have that aren't true? So, best way to find out is, of course, to ask. So I ask, what about you? What motivates you? And that evening, I get to use all the tools that I have learned. I listen, I stay with the core issue of the conversation, and I don't wander off and tell him what he is like or what he thinks. I ask him questions, lots of questions, follow-up questions. And when I'm not sure of what he means by a term or definition, I ask him. And so we keep going, him and I. We're still writing. But I no longer struggle with my messages, and he doesn't accuse me of anything anymore. We laugh, we get inspired, we talk about fear, about economy, about anxiety, about love. And it turns out he has a lot of humor, and that he's kind, and he's empathetic, and he wants to become my psychologist. And I think it would be a great idea if he follows up on that, because I tell him stuff that I don't even tell my friends. So this man reached out to me, someone that he thought represented evil, someone that he feared. And I can't say I liked it at first, but I realized the other day that I was longing for his next message, because we've had the most exciting conversations that I've had in a long time. And just before I came on stage, we were joking about me being so stressed out about coming here today. So he sent me this song that he thought I'd like, and I really do. Thank you.